Hi, and welcome to this live reading of Love's Mulligan, a stroke of love novel by C.A. Miconi, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Kellie. The Las Vegas heat is stifling even though it's early fall. I shield my eyes from the brightness of the sun as I peer at the new gazebo just installed at the hotel where I work. It looks amazing. The structure is octagonal with a dark slate-colored roof and white posts set against a backdrop of palm trees and tall buildings. We're a block from the Strip, so the skyline is filled with hotels and other attractions. Close enough to get a steady stream of customers who don't want to stay in the midst of the most touristy part of the city, but far enough away that we're not surrounded by the noise of central Vegas. Our hotel is prestigious with over 600 rooms, a beautiful pool and spa, conference area, and other amenities, including a world-class golf course. It also boasts both a bridal and honeymoon suite, in addition to the penthouses reserved for the most exclusive guests. Following a multi-million-dollar renovation, the Lucky Lady was recently transformed into one of the best wedding venues in Vegas. We cater to the wealthy and sometimes the famous. Every year, we put on over 300 weddings, pausing only for a break over the Christmas holiday season and the first week in January. It's a nonstop turntable of nuptials, and I love every minute of it. I suppose, deep down, I'm a hopeless romantic, even though my own love life is sadly DOA, dead on arrival. The new gazebo is a big deal for the hotel. It means we can hold weddings outside now, a major selling point for brides wanting an outdoor ceremony. I gaze at the structure, imagining it on someone's big day, and I can't stop smiling. It's so beautiful. The paint was barely dry this morning before the hotel's publicity team decorated it to show us what it could look like set up for a wedding. There's white sheer fabric draped around the top and wrapped around the supports with flowers and greenery attached. 2 large flower stands accent the entrance filled with bouquets. The scene has a fairy tale feel, perfect for a dream wedding. In addition to the gazebo, there's a brand new reception hall with large windows and a set of French doors leading into it. The side of the building that faces the gazebo has sliding glass doors that can be opened up entirely to give the appearance of an outdoor venue. Inside, there's space for at least 300 guests. With a private bar and dance floor, it's the perfect addition to the property and allows for much grander events completely on site rather than having weddings performed in the chapel we've partnered with in the past. It looks so good, I tell Genevieve, the hotel's head of publicity and marketing. We're going to wow potential brides with this setup. I walk down the path to stand within the gazebo. Can you imagine the happy couple standing here with their guests seated on the lawn and a white runner leading up here? Emma, my assistant, nods her agreement. Add some rose petals along the path and drape chairs, and it will look like a dream. We could have small receptions out here, too. Emma has been working with me for almost 3 years, and honestly, I have no idea how I lived without her before that. She keeps me on track with everything. I wasn't disorganized before. As an event coordinator, I have to be organized, but now I'm much more focused. Emma remembers everything, sometimes things I don't even recall, and she knows the job inside out. As soon as she stepped inside my office for her interview, I knew I would hire her. She and I clicked instantly. She was the youngest of all the candidates I'd seen, barely 22, fresh out of college and looking to make a name for herself. She's a native, born and raised in the Summerlin area of the city, so she has a local's knowledge of Vegas. Her hair is dark brown like mine, but unlike mine, hers is curly and she wears a short reaching just below her shoulders. Her signature dark-framed glasses complete her professional look. While she's my employee, I also view her as a friend. I think we can charge more for events now with a new venue, Emma adds. Maybe a 10% increase? She glances at me as if to gauge my thoughts, and I agree. The new reception hall and gazebo are excellent selling points. Maybe more. This is a very exclusive setup. Genevieve smiles. My thinking when we had this built was that you can either host the ceremony inside the hall or outside. Breakfasts or luncheons can be held in the hall, as well as evening receptions. There's plenty of room for a dance floor. We're also far enough from the rest of the hotel population that events will have an air of exclusivity that we haven't had before. The hall we've used in the past for wedding receptions was in the conference area and allowed other hotel guests to mix in with the wedding guests. Since regular hotel patrons wouldn't be in this area, the venue provides privacy. This will be attractive to celebrities and exclusive clients. I've been working as the events coordinator at the Lucky Lady for about 4 years. From an early age, I loved organizing parties. I was always the one helping put together dances and trips and organizing family functions and activities. I was born and raised in Green Springs, Mississippi, a far cry from the bustling city I now live in. Life was simpler in Green Springs, but it was also like being under a microscope. Everyone knew everyone's business, and when my life there imploded, I had to move away for my own sanity. I landed in Vegas when an opportunity arose to work for a large events company and was here for about 5 years before the hotel hired me. I love my coworkers, and I enjoy the work. No two events are alike, although the planning process is essentially the same. Besides weddings, my favorite events to coordinate are romance author book signings. I've always loved to read, and getting my chance to fangirl over authors I love without taking off work is a plus. Weddings are very personal, and I love helping couples create the best day of their lives. I enjoy working with most of my brides and grooms, and some are more demanding than others, but I understand the need for everything to be perfect. Over the years, I've been involved in hundreds of nuptials, each unique in their own right, but everyone as beautiful as the one before it. There's something magical about seeing a couple pledging their love to one another. Sometimes I feel sad because I haven't found my Mr. Right, although I came close once. I pushed that thought out of my head. The last thing I need right now is a trip down memory lane. This is going to be a great asset for the hotel, Genevieve says, flicking her blonde hair over her shoulder and interrupting my musing. She's much taller than my 5'1" frame. Even though I'm wearing heels, she still has a few inches on me, so I have to look up to meet her gaze. When can we start booking? As soon as possible. We've already put some photos and marketing materials together. They're due back from the printers at the end of the week. Actually, we already have our first wedding in the new venue lined up. I wrinkle my brow and look at Emma to gauge her reaction. She looks equally confused, since the events department, namely me, should have been the first to know. How did you manage that so fast? She shrugs. I know someone who's looking for the best venue in Vegas, so of course that would be here. Her grin is infectious and piques my curiosity. Although I don't usually get caught up in celebrity excitement, I have to ask. Is it someone famous? You could say that. She hands over a folder. I settle it atop my clipboard with one hand and open it awkwardly with the other. I recognize the name in the file. Milo Winters. She's a swimsuit model who's all over social media. From what I've heard, everyone thinks she has the potential to be the next big thing. Milo Winters? I glance up at Genevieve, who's still smiling. She'll bring a lot of publicity. She will. Have you seen any of her work? Some, I admit, scanning the paperwork for more information. It's then I notice the groom's name and my heart drops to my stomach. Harrison Hayes. A name that I've tried to forget ever since he left Green Springs and me in the dust. It's been years since I last saw him in person. Of course, I've seen him on TV and social media since then, but up close and personal now? I clear my throat as my airway suddenly feels clogged. It can't be the same Harrison Hayes, can it? Is there a problem? No, I forced the word out. No problem. Harrison Hayes. He's the golfer, right? Genevieve nods in excitement. He's even bigger than Milo. Can you imagine a golf pro getting married to an up-and-coming model at our new venue? I understand her enthusiasm. And honestly, if we were talking about anyone else, I'd feel the same. I take a steadying breath, trying to remain professional. I can do this. I have to. This is my job. Contact info for Mila's and Harrison's people are included in the packet. Please reach out and make all the arrangements. And by the way, you've got less than 2 weeks to make this event happen. The wedding is right after the charity golf tournament. Say what? Pull off a celebrity wedding for my ex and do it in less than 2 weeks? I take a deep breath and expel it. I'll get right on it. Thanks. I force a smile and walk back toward my office, Emma on my heels. Do you want me to go through the packet? Emma asks, invading my thoughts. I can start making a list of what needs to be done. I shake my head. I want to speak to Milo's contact first before we start arranging things. That makes sense. As we step back inside the hotel, Emma touches my arm. Are you all right? Of course, it's a lie, and she sees right through it. When you looked at the packet, you seemed a little distracted. I'm fine, I assure her. I just want everything to be perfect. We can't afford to screw this up. I can tell she isn't convinced, but she also doesn't call me on my bullshit. We continue making our way through the hotel and to our shared office suite. Emma goes to her desk while I head into my small office, shutting the door behind me. I sink down onto the chair in front of my desk, trying not to freak out as I open the packet once more. It contains the details of the bride's family and choices for bridesmaids. I pause as I look over the info about the groom's family, the familiar names leaping off the page at me. It's been years, but I can still feel the sting of that wound as if it just occurred. I need to initiate contact with the bride's manager, but I can't bring myself to move behind my desk and pick up the phone. Nibbling my lip, I close my eyes and lean back, trying to focus on anything but the memories assaulting me. Memories of another life when things were simple and my life was laid out perfectly. I was supposed to get married, have kids, and be happy, not be single and alone at 32. Harrison flippin' Hayes. How in the hell am I going to coordinate a wedding for the man I thought I would marry and spend the rest of my life with?